I'm going to snap open my latte.
Snap open a Busch latte and welcome.
Look at the top of that.
Steam.
Froth.
Boys, they have
Wow,
they have Busch Ice up here in Canada.
Busch Ice. That's the high test stuff.
Busch Ice. Yeah. I'm going to have to give it a rip. I saw it at the liquor store yesterday. I didn't grab any yet, but I'm going to give her a rip.
I saw the picture you sent, and I was like, I didn't even know they made Busch Ice. That's a Canada thing.
Percentages got to be more. Huh?
Yeah, it's got to be
8% or something.
They're used to that up there.
Yeah,
it's something new, something I didn't even know about. I was afraid if I got it though, I wouldn't be able to finish this podcast. So you dive into the ice, you're playing a dangerous game.
Heavy.
We are. We're in studio. Jason and I are in studio. For those of you that are listening, Casey is in Canada again. Turn and burn. He's back up in Canada for the 2 weeks visiting and family and all the fun stuff up there. How is Canada again? You're in Saskatchewan this time.
I am sitting right now. Yeah, my sister-in-law is getting married. I'm sitting outside of Watrous in a place they call Manitou Beach, which is the Dead Sea of Canada, believe it or not. It is the highest salt content in the water. So we're going to head down there after the podcast, and you can go in the water, and you don't even have to swim. You just float because of the salinity of the water. So there's a big mineral spa and all kinds of cool stuff here in Manitou Beach. So that's where we're at. We're here for Carrie's wedding. She's getting married tomorrow on a Thursday. So yeah, today's Wednesday. She's getting married on Thursday, and then we're going to be here through Friday, and then back to visit family for a couple of weeks. Head up to Big River. Wildfires burning everywhere up there, so we're going to try and avoid those. Do a little fishing and just kind of hang out and have some fun.
Awesome. That sounds like a pretty good trip.
Yeah, those wildfires. Some days you'll see the smoke, some days you won't. But we're I don't know how many couple thousand miles from you up there. What are we, about 2,000 miles? 1,800 miles?
Yeah. From Saskatoon, it's I think it's 2,200 miles or 2,100 miles.
Yeah, and that fire smoke is working its way down here. So you look anywhere where you have any distance of, half a mile, and it's smoky.
It's foggy.
You can see it.
It's smoky. Yeah, it was that way. Like last week, we were talking on the podcast. We got shut down from flying out because it came in, and it looked like the fire was burning 10 feet from us. But it said the other day when I woke up, Alexa, I asked for the weather when she's like, it's going to be air quality's bad and smoke, and I look out, and sure enough, there's a haze. I mean, you can see it, and it's coming way down. Yeah. So it just depends on the wind. So they got to be bad up there.
Yeah, and the fact that the fires are still burning, actually there's new fires starting up here constantly. So normally early spring, you get a lot of fires up here, and then it kind of subsides and goes away. But it's still, everything is still on fire. So it's actually kind of crazy. We got a video from a family friend up here the other day, and he's actually out in the water, sitting on his boat, rocking in the waves, looking back at his cabin as the fire absolutely rages behind it, headed right for the cabin. So kind of sad to see. You get some of the most pristine and beautiful areas in the world up here, and they just get burnt out, and it's nothing but ash when those fires go through. So pretty crazy, but we're going to try and avoid that. Like I said, get up north and do a little bit of fishing, have some fun.
And it's been happening for years and years, decades, hundreds of years. And this time of year it's lightning season, and that lightning hits anywhere in the middle of the timber, and it's dry pine or whatever it is, and it goes.
Oh, that bush goes up so fast. That's probably the easiest place to start a fire, with that caribou moss and those pines with the dead stuff on it. Even when we're building shore launch, a couple weeks ago, you got to go out on the rock because, just the slightest little spark and it's gone. It's crazy. And up there, it just takes so long to come back. That's the problem is, you're at tree line, and these trees are only 20 feet tall because of the sunlight and everything else. So that's the hard part, is the restoration of that stuff.
Yeah, when you're looking at a short growing season, trees don't get very big up here, but, it's the cycle, right? Because these forests up here, they need the fire to regenerate and repopulate. That's what opens up the cones and the seeds and all that stuff, so that actually the forest can regenerate itself. But, it sucks for a little while after the burn, but then the green up starts to happen. And once that green up starts to happen, then the wildlife all moves back in, and they've got fresh food and fresh greens and all that stuff. So it's part of it. It's just, you never know where it's going to happen. And that's the dangerous part. There's a city north of Lisa's hometown called Beauval. And Beauval got completely encircled in a fire in less than 24 hours. So they have no way out right now unless they go by helicopter or float plane. There's no way to get people in and out. So, terrible. And it just, I mean, when it just happens like that. So it's a dangerous thing. It's also kind of the awe-inspiring power of Mother Nature, how it can just come through and do that. And then you come through a few years later and everything's coming back and looking green. And so it's just part of it, man. It's part of living up here, part of living in the bush.
Yep. It is. Well, it's beautiful country.
Tell you what else is up here, Jay. Ducks.
Oh,
really?
Potholes?
Right now, pothole ducks?
Oh my God, you should see the frickin' potholes right now. We drove by, I mean, so, you know, Saskatchewan's duck capital of the world. It's like, don't quote me on this. I think it's accurate. They can fact check as well. We're looking at this, but like 2/3 of North America's waterfowl population come from right here in Saskatchewan. It's really cool because when you pull out of the airport and you're driving, you see Ducks Unlimited conservation signs everywhere because it's the prairie pothole region. So there's potholes, and up here they call them sloughs. There's sloughs in every single field, and I mean, they're everywhere. They're just tiny little pockets of water. I mean, it might be, 50 feet by 50 feet, but they're absolutely everywhere. And every one of them right now, I mean, I drove by, I bet you driving down to where I'm at right now, I drove down this morning, I probably passed 750 sloughs, and every one of those sloughs had 100 ducks in it. I mean, it's just incredible. And then in the evening, you look out, and it's just nothing but wave after wave after wave of ducks. So it's pretty cool to see. It's just one of those things where, again, just Mother Nature, right? They're here for a reason. They got everything they need in these little potholes, and they're just here by the millions.
Yep. And we've had some good shoots in Canada up there, haven't we?
We got to get up there again and hunt those potholes.
Yeah.
It's been, I don't know how many years. I hunted the Delta Marsh back in 2000, 2001. And it was, you could walk across the backs of ducks.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many, and that was the Delta Marsh. I've actually never hunted in Saskatchewan for waterfowl in my life. Oh. And you guys have, I know, back in the day.
Casey and I one time, I forget what hunt we were going on, Casey, but we stopped and we were up there near Christopher Lake, near Carrie's old place. And we ended up, we grabbed, we weren't going to, what hunt were we going on, Case? Was that a moose hunt? What were we doing?
Casey's
we were going to film Dropped.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. We were doing the Saskatchewan Dropped, and we were prepping, and we stopped there, and we prepped for a couple days.
2017.
Exactly. And we ended up asking the farmer if he had any, because we just saw so many snow geese and stuff flying into these fields. We're like, do you got any decoys or shotguns? Because we didn't have any of that stuff with us to go on Dropped. And he's like, yeah. Brings over, what was it, like 5-10 decoys, Case, and like a random single shot, 410 and a 20 gauge. And we went and bought our tags and limited out.
Yeah.
Like, it was incredible. You remember that shoot?
Oh, yeah, dude. It's so silly up here. I was talking, last night, so my sister-in-law, Kim, and Jeremy live in Viscount, which is a little town about an hour outside of Saskatoon. So they live in Viscount. And Mickey, Jeremy's father, came over last night, and so I was talking to Mickey, and they farm 3,800 acres, and he basically was like, I mean, if you guys want a waterfowl hunt, it's here. So that's going to have to happen.
Done deal.
Got to do that,
Done deal. That's happening, because, I mean, we absolutely slayed them, and we didn't even have the right calls. I mean, I think decoys. We were yelling at them.
I remember seeing the decoys.
Snow goose. That's about when they came in.
Yeah. Like that Three Amigos scene. Look up here, look up here, look up here.
Look up here, look up here.
Yeah, look up here.
Yeah.
No, it's silly. I mean, they're so comfortable up here because they live up here, they nest up here, they do their thing all summer long. And then come hunting season, I mean, they're low and slow, especially when the geese start to move in here. Oh, my goodness. It just gets wild. It's fun. You hunt those sloughs, or you get out, and if they start cutting pea fields and stuff like that, the only problem with pea fields is you can't really – trying to hide in a cut pea field is not the easy.
Yeah, you can't hide. You can't hide. We had four guns. No, we had 3 guns and 4 guys. We had 3 guns. We had 2 pumps and 1 single shot, literally 410.
I remember seeing a picture of it.
And then it's like the oldest gun on the planet, and 2 pumps. And then so one guy would film, and then they'd rotate so that it was even, because the single shot guy would get you got boom, and that was it, right? And so then
probably
it was
kill more because you aim
exactly.
better.
And then you rotated. We just rotated through. It's like, okay, you hold the camera, and then these 3 guys shoot. And then we just did that, and we literally just we sat there and covered in white sheets, and it just worked out perfectly. It was fun anyway, and then we ended up crushing geese and everything, and it was such a good way to start.
If I remember right, and I've got a picture somewhere of the guns in the I think we had 3 decoys.
Yeah,
it's on a snow
the one
goose.
gun, the stock of the shotgun was held on with electrical tape.
It was 100%. I remember it.
Was.
I love that photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The farmer had it.
I know.
He's like,
it's a great shot.
There you go.
I mean, we knocked the shit out of them, so it worked.
Well, I remember, Case, when you went back, Majestic Lion. Remember when you went back to Alberta after?
Yeah. Oh. Yep.
So you killed Majestic Lion, and then you had 2 days of waterfowl hunting, and that would have been in late October, right? Probably mid to late October.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
And you guys
ran
them.
through some Winchester AA's and Winchester shells. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
My heavens. The pile of Winchester shells.
We limited out. I have it written down in a journal. I could go back and look, but we limited out. There's 8 of us shooting, and I think it was 8 ducks apiece. I don't remember the goose limit. It was 8 ducks apiece, and call it 4 Canadas or something like that, 4 darks. And we limited out entirely it was 26 minutes.
It's crazy.
It was
insane.
It was the most ridiculous thing. And we were only shooting greenheads.
Yeah,
so it was
picking them.
You're picking your greenhead, you're letting the hens go. And I mean, so we were selectively shooting, and we still limited out in that short amount of time. It was wild.
Yeah.
Wild, man.
That's awesome.
And by the time those birds get down to Michigan, I mean, we are still in northern states, so you still get some low flyers. You still get some dum-dums, as our boy Scotty Butts likes to call them.
Dum-dums.
We still get some dum-dums, some migrators. But by the time they get down to Illinois, you get down to Missouri, you get down to Arkansas, they've seen dozens of spreads. They've been shot at probably a dozen times.
Yeah.
So you have to have your spot, your setup. You have to be hid. It has to be tight if you want to kill birds down there. But a lot of times it's late in the season. They need food. They need water. So you're kind of narrowing it down for them.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Up here, honestly, you can't do anything wrong. It's just throw some deeks out and hang on for the ride, or just go sit on a slough and wait for them because they're coming. Yeah. So,
well, Chris and I were talking too. I mean, we're all on the text chain. The amount of big deer that are on the 1900 farm stuff right now.
Yeah, that's exciting to talk about real quick. Let's talk about it. So we've got a new partner alert, we can officially say, which is 1900. 1900 feed. We've been working with these guys. I met Hallie Moore on a bear hunt, actually, about 2 years ago. I think, was that 2 years ago? Yeah. Two
North Carolina.
Carolina bear hunt. Just an incredibly salt-of-the-earth, incredible. Him and his wife are amazing, and they have a farm down there in Texas, 1900. And then was introduced to Cade, who is their biologist, and we've talked a little bit about this before on the podcast. But we started really getting into the supplemental feed because in Ohio we can supplemental feed, right? And we've never done that before. But Casey and I have supplemental feed back through our guiding, through all the stuff we've done with deer in the past, and so we're very, very familiar with the formulas. And so we've been working with them, and this is the first time that we've supplemental feed in the north with this feed in Ohio, and it started out really interesting. New feeders out, supplemental stuff, right? So a pellet. So deer are like, what's going on? Never seen it before.
Took a while.
It took a minute, right? And it took a minute for them to do it. But right now, I can say that they're eating about 1,800 pounds every 2 weeks. Yeah. I mean, they are absolutely crushing it. And what we're seeing from antler growth this early, I mean, I sent the picture around yesterday. How about the frame on that deer, Casey, that was sent yesterday?
Massive.
I mean, incredible.
Wherever your adventure takes you, count on Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's to make it memorable. From the timberline to the campsites to the lake and the range, get your family outfitted with the right gear. With premium brands like Worldwide Sportsman, Ascend, Instinct, Redhead, and Natural Reflections, they've got the apparel and the gear to make it the best adventure ever. Stop by today for a one-of-a-kind shopping experience in-store or online at BassPro.com and Cabela's.com. See for yourself at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's stores. Your adventure starts here. All right, let's talk about beer for a second. You ever notice there's a big difference between Busch light drinkers and other beer drinkers? I like to say we live on the wild side. You know, a guy with a Busch light in his hand, he's a man of the people. He's out there in the wild every day. He's in the trenches smashing bushies with a smile on his face. You know why? Because he doesn't care. He's not looking for a soulmate. He just needs something to wash that damn jerky down. And he's got himself a 12-pack of Freedom in a can. And when that can gets cracked, it's like opening a door to a whole different world. It's just a vibe. And if you haven't felt it, you should. So go grab yourself a case of bushies, give them a rip, and take a walk on the wild side. You've got things that matter. Memories, heirlooms, documents, firearms. And we all know that life is unpredictable. At Winchester Safes, they make sure life's unpredictable moments don't take those things from you. They use state-of-the-art methods that refuse to sacrifice quality. They put everything they have into their products, offering proven protection and peace of mind. There's only one safe company worthy of the title, the American Legend, and that's Winchester Safes. Follow at Winchester Safes or learn more on winchestersafes.com.
It's insane. The number of pictures, and here's the other thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, though. The frequency with which they're coming to the feeders throughout the course of the day.
Yes.
You know, it's a lot of times when you start talking supplemental feed, you get like those kind of two big times. You get the early and the late one. These deer are coming back throughout the course of the day, which from a feed perspective tells me a couple things. One, the palatability is on point because they like the texture and the flavor. And two, the digestibility is on point because if they're coming to the feeders that frequently, that means they're able to digest the feed easily enough. And so that's a huge thing when it comes to nutrient absorption and adsorption and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's just what we're seeing on the cameras is crazy. I can't wait to get down there and kind of see it firsthand.
Yeah. Yeah. So break down palatability. You guys, again, you've created a feed.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Talk about the deer internally, what they need this time of year, the different stomachs, all that stuff, because it's super interesting.
Yeah, so just to throw some background out there is a product on the market called Rack 1, and Rack 1 was built, Casey and I built that with a different system in mind for a deer's kind of life cycle, right? Yep. And Arcus and Tinks, they now own kind of Rack 1. We sold that off a long time ago, but that gave us kind of a background in that nutrition. And we had a controlled environment where we could test the pellets, we could test the feed, we understood where it was. We worked with deer in a very, very like intimate manner. And it was amazing to get to see what they could do. So basically, you know, deer are ruminants, and so they have multiple stomachs. And there's a thing called TDN, which is total digestible nutrients. And the idea is some may call it what Casey bypass protein would be another kind of way to explain TDN. And essentially what that is once it goes into the first stomach, what is actually being put into the second stomach and what is not. So kind of like what is going to be absorbed in the body and then what's get put through. And sometimes when you got a shitty feed, you know, 90% of it just gets shit out, right? So nothing stays in the body. And so when you have these total digestible nutrients, what's really good is how much is staying in there. And they've got an over 80% rate of TDN, which is incredible because it's staying in their body and it's actually giving them the nutrients they need. And it's not just a bypass where it comes through, gets processed into the second stomach, and out it goes. So it's a real amazing science behind what stays in and what doesn't. So that's a decent breakdown, Casey, if you want to add to that on the TDN side.
Yeah, I think that's the most simplistic breakdown. You know, being a ruminant, that's why they chew their cud, right? So they go and they eat it the first time, and then they go lay down and they, you know, basically essentially regurgitate it back up. They rechew it, and then it goes back down and goes into a different part of the digestive system. You know, and all of that has to do. We'll go down this rabbit hole eventually in some of the new habitat and herd management and deer management stuff that we're going to do. But essentially a lot of that comes down, and this is why I mentioned the frequency thing, because a lot of that comes down to proximity to feed as well. And so what I look at is as long as the deer have the proper cover from that food source, they'll go use and lay down in that proper cover. to actually regurgitate, chew their cud, and continue that digestive process. And then they'll go back and feed again. And so when I look at the frequency with which these deer are showing up, I tell myself, like, obviously the palatability, which is palatability is important from a flavor standpoint, from a texture standpoint. All of that stuff is on point. They're chewing it, they're eating it, they're going and laying down close by. In which, when you start thinking about from a hunting side of things, you want them close to that food source. From a doe side of things, you want them close to the food source because it's less of a caloric burn when it comes to the lactation time of year. So they're actually passing on more nutrients to the fawns. So it's all kind of one big system, and we're going to do a deep dive eventually. But what we've been seeing so far from the TDN side, palatability side, digestive side, it's awesome, man. I mean, it really is. It's the Feed 1900 started in Texas, and I think we may have touched on this previously, but one of the things that I was really curious to see is, a lot of areas of Texas don't have the highest nutritional value in their natural forages. And so deer will eat the hell out of feed, no matter what it is down there in these certain spots. I was interested to see when it got into an area of the country where there is a good, solid amount of natural forbs and forages and woody browse available year round, what they would do. And the results have been badass. So it's overall, it's been pretty cool to run the experiment. And certainly we're not done. We're going to be doing a lot more as we go forward.
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to push forward with them. And obviously, as it comes to the north, as we're starting to work on, this with them on that side, it has been interesting to see because they've got corn and we've got beans and we've got all this stuff available right now. So that was what we were all talking about is, would this work? And I think it took a minute, but man, once they got on it, they are. But here's another thing that's interesting. If you look at all the pictures we're getting on the reveals, the does right now are in good shape. A lot of times you'll see the does this time of year, July, they're skinny. They got that really thin coat, and they're trying to lactate with these fawns, and so they're just getting milked to death, right? And at the end of the day, they just look skinny. These does look perfect right now. Yeah. I mean, they're healthy, fat. They look great on them, which is ultimately what we're looking for, is healthy does to give us healthy fawns and keep that herd going. So that's been cool to see all of that from a distance right now.
Well, and there's also a lot of the fawns obviously being born a little, we're talking 2 months ago now. A lot of those fawns are past that colostrum stage and kind of those early, really important stages. And now if you see, there's actually fawns that are in there on the feed. So they're eating some of the feed that the deer knock out and lays on the ground and everything else. The fawns are actually in there eating it too. So it's cool to see.
Well, we started the program this year prior to antler growth. So right at shed season, basically, is when we started. So they were just getting going. We started it. So this entire grow season will be on 1900. And I don't know if it's been just a good wet year down there or what's going on, but the feed has obviously helped them. But I am shocked at the literal 150s and 60s
already
that we already have in July that are nowhere even close to topping out, which is incredible to see. And we're seeing mass. We're seeing frames. I mean, the frames are we've always had pretty big frame bucks. Like we've had a good genetic of width and splits on that farm. But what I'm seeing this year is the mass on those frames. Like that's a big difference, man. When everything's going to those frames, that just helps out tremendously. So I'm super excited. I mean, I think we already have 4 or 5 bucks on the hit list as we speak in June or in July. That I don't know what they're going to top out at, but this is going to be a big season for us down there.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I think it goes through phases, just like with seasons, and there is some agriculture, around us, but to do this supplemental feeding, I think it's exciting to see what could actually happen with these deer this year. And that there's some bucks that last year we identified that are back that are really taking some jumps. Yeah. And that is the exciting part, is to see deer take those jumps that we're used to seeing deer following them for years, and the jumps are pretty historically accurate, the same every year, but there's some deer making some massive leaps. And I'd have to really look at 1900 as that's got to be one of the big reasons.
It's a big change, right? It's really one of those factors that we've introduced now that's just keeping them steady and keeping them healthy. And I also think we've managed that farm now for going on 8 years or something, maybe is it 8 or 9 years? But I'd say our age class is about right on that farm too, Casey. Wouldn't you say, as far as like our older bucks now, like we've let enough deer go at 2 and 3 where we're starting to see 4 and 5 really take off. I mean, And the other thing, real quick, is the Big Sneaky gene. And if you guys aren't familiar, I had a deer named Big Sneaky, and he has had more genetics on that farm from, unbelievable.
Well, we had Sneaky Jr.
We
had Big Sneaky.
Zoolander is another one right now, and that is, I believe that's Zoolander. Casey, what's your thoughts on that? The deer that's coming to that northeast with the splits.
Yeah,
I think it's him.
It's without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. I mean, it's insane. I think I dubbed one of them, I don't know, it may be Zoolander or not. I think I dubbed one of them Sneaky 7.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I mean, I see the deer and I'm like, holy shit, it's Big Sneaky. He's back and he died 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild.
That was a 178-inch
cool
deer,
to see.
Double splits. He was like, I chased him for a while. Neighbor shot him. Old Ben Rising shot him right
Sneaky
on the
Jr.,
Sneaky Jr. and some others. And so that genetic has been on there, and it's just incredible to see it. About every year, every 2 years, you start to see it in a 1-year-old because he's got the splits already. And then, man, I mean, just to see him make a jump this year. So he should be 3. God willing, he'll make it another year or 2 before we end up taking him down. But already he's ahead of where all the other sneakies were. So that's good. It's good to see.
All the other sneakies.
So you mentioned something. You mentioned something there, Chris, that is going to be interesting to see for the fall, talking about the feed. So that farm, traditionally we've had a lot of deer throughout the course of the spring, a lot of deer throughout the course of the summer call the farm their home. And then come the fall, certain deer do what deer do, and they just, boom, off they go, and, they go missing for a while. Some of them get shot by neighbors. Some of them end up coming back, and we're like, holy shit, where did he go for 5 months? Like, he disappeared, and now he's back. What I'm interested to see with the feed, and this is what a great feed and a supplemental feed program can do. It can give you the holding power that you need sometimes, especially in that down time of year. So as the feed starts to disappear, those natural forbs and forages start to disappear, the corn gets harvested, the beans get harvested, and things change. The rut's the rut. They're going to leave and they're going to do what they want to do. They go completely mind blank for that period of time. But will that feed and that supplemental program run throughout that time of year, give us the holding power to potentially hold more does, increase our carrying capacity, hold more does, and then ultimately, when you can hold more does, guess what else you're going to hold? You're going to hold more bucks. So I really want to see if that's going to happen with this feed program, if we start increasing that hold capacity through the fall. That's going to be an interesting test.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see right now I'm super happy with it. I'm super excited to partner with them as we go into the fall. And like Casey said, we've got a lot of big things coming up here that we're going to really start talking about a lot more. And as we launch our new kind of ecosystem that I'm excited to talk about even more in depth over the next 2 weeks, because we're getting really close, we're going to have a whole deep dive into that series, and it's going to be just cool and super educational and really informational, especially if you're thinking about it on your farms, or you're like, okay, I mean, you don't need a big farm. You just need to supplemental feed. I don't care if you have one 500-pound feeder that you're out there, you're going to control those deer and make sure that they're healthy around you. So, and you'll pull more bucks. So it's exciting to talk about, and I can't wait to deep dive with them. And really, what I'm really looking forward to is getting Cade on here. He is an absolute genius when it comes to the nutritional side of, what they've been building. And so to get Cade and really have a deep dive with him is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So 1900 feed, I asked you earlier.
Yeah.
They were founded, their farm.
Yeah.
That proper 1900 year.
Yeah.
1900.
Yeah, it's been in the family for a long time. They're rice farmers by trade. And the feed came through kind of a really interesting way, where there was a hurricane that came through, and they had a lot of rice that was not at food quality for human consumption feed and things like that, where they still had to harvest this rice. What do they do with it? And they just kind of took it and they started processing it themselves and created some cattle feed, which then led to deer feed, and that's when Hallie got a hold of Cade, and the two of them kind of got together, and next thing you know, they've got this feed, and they started tweaking it, and down there you get a lot of high fence ranches in Texas, and so they started feeding, and they're seeing these huge jumps in these high fence ranches in a controlled environment, and so then it was about taking it from that perspective and started to put it and implement it into the fair chase stuff and onto farms, which is where we came in to see, is it going to do the same results up there? And so far far we're seeing incredible results of that jump. But it's a family-owned operation and has been since 1900, and it's just an incredible, and again, couldn't be nicer people. Yep. I mean, literally, they're just incredible, and they're farmers, man. That's what they do, and they just love it. So, super excited to have them on board and just continue to help them and them help us when it comes to big deer. So it's gonna be really cool to see.
Yep.
For some of us, the hunt never stops. Grizzly understands that more than most. Rugged, reliable, and built to never back down. Whether you're on the trail, by the water, or deep in the dark timber, Grizzly is by your side. Tough enough to take on the wild and ready for whatever you can throw. Grizzly is committed to products that never let you down. Always on the hunt with Grizzly. Out here in the wild, precision isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Leupold Optics is built on the foundation of American craftsmanship, where every features function first. For over a century now, they've combined dedication and technology with a relentless put-it-to-the-test attitude, creating optics that stand up when everything else stands down. When it matters most, you need the best. That's what you get with Leupold Optics. While other companies out there warranty failure, Leupold guarantees performance for life. Some call it out on the trail. I like to call it the road less traveled. The kind of place where the going gets tough. That's where Tracker Off-Road comes in. Made for those who won't back down. Tracker Off-Road delivers the hardest working machines with the greatest capability at the strongest value in the industry. Built by those who know what it takes and designed for those who don't turn back. Tracker is dedicated to delivering machines that let you get the most out of your day and your dollar. Ready to take on your next adventure? Go with Tracker Off-Road.
Every shot counts. And when it's time to make it count, you want the best. Winchester Ammunition has built its legacy on a commitment to innovation by continuously pushing what's possible. In the heartland of America, the American legend crafts ammunition that's purpose-built, reliable, accurate, and ready to perform no matter how harsh the conditions. Whether you're hunting or shooting for sport, Winchester will be there.
So being up here in Canada, guys, I would be completely remiss if I did not show you my beaver. You guys want to see my beaver?
I've seen it before, I think. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it
that
is.
One.
Oh, that beaver. That's a wooden beaver.
Yeah, like that's my little buddy. They got the place we're staying at does chainsaw carvings, and this just so happens to be at the campfire set where I'm sitting. So perfect.
Nice little beaver.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Sitting around this campfire just gets me fired up. Obviously, we're getting close to August 1st, which is when we really start to press the gas on some of the dropped prep. I know guys are gearing up right now to head out for sheep season and some of that stuff. So we've got a lot of that coming down the pipe. But one of the things I just wanted to fill everybody in on, so we're creating some content here when I get back at the end of July. It's going to be pretty exciting as we head into drop this year. So we partnered up with First Form on a bunch of stuff that we're doing together. And we actually have the team from First Form is coming to Michigan. They're going to be in studio, First Form Outdoors. So we got Jake Arvold coming, and then we've got Kaylee Stevens coming. And we're going to kind of take a deep dive into some content creation about the rigors and the stresses that our bodies go through when we go on dropped for 30 days and we go without the proper nutrition and everything else. And we're going to be looking at daily caloric intake and caloric burns and just some really cool, almost like scientific biology style stuff with what we go through when we're out there. And then we're going to talk about some of the supplements and some of the products that First Form has that can help us kind of pull through and maintain condition while we're out there. So I just wanted to mention that. I know you guys you're in tune with everything that's going on there, but I just think it's going to be a really cool opportunity to take a look at what we actually put ourselves through when we go out there for 30 days or more without frickin' food, because when you start looking at some of the numbers, it's pretty staggering.
It is pretty incredible, and I think that's probably one of the number one questions I get is, what supplements do you take? Like, I get that all the time on Instagram, like, what do you take? The reason that we've been working with First Form is they offer the entire suite of stuff. That's what I love, right? And so I'm going to one spot and I am taking stuff. I would say their Formula One Clear is my favorite, hands down, protein. It's not meant to be a meal supplement. It's not meant to be a meal replacement. It is straight up protein. You're talking 23 grams of protein, and it's digestible. It's palatable. It's basically, when you blend it up, it's juice. I just had it in the.
You drank
I
it
literally
in 4
just
seconds.
drank it in 4 seconds. This is it right here, right before we started the show, because that's kind of like my lunch. I mean, I'll just have a protein shake. I mix it up with certain things. So it's going to be exciting to think about when we go out there, what supplements are going to be available to us. As you said, Casey, we're going through such a caloric deficit to basically offset and get that high protein, the energy that we need, because that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
You know, we've been out there 10, 11 times with no food, and there's been a couple times where we're laying on the beach, like you're dizzy. And I think when you have the proper supplemental intake that we can kind of, you know, supplement that with from a caloric deficit, then I'm really excited to see what we can do with that and what it's going to take for that, you know, that period of time. They just make incredible products so far. And I've, you know, look, I'm getting old, but hair's thinning. I know it looks like it's a lot of back here. These are sky mile wings back there, but colostrum, I swear to God, I swear by it. Colostrum, thickening hair, nails, all that stuff. I take colostrum every single morning. I don't know. My wife will dry scoop it. I don't know how she does that. Like, it's horrible. But I mix it in. That's a new product that they just launched, and I'm just super impressed with it. So, I mean, I can't wait for them to come in and learn more about it, because I have been so impressed with everything so far, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, the stuff is top notch. One of the things I actually like the most about it, and I'm interested to talk with them when they come in, is just it's clean. Like, you guys know me, I'm not big on like chemicals. I'm not big on medicine chemicals and stuff like that. And a lot of what they got is super clean, and that's really important to me. So yeah, we're going to create some cool stuff. And like you said, Chris, we're looking at, you know, kind of that the deficit that we go under when we're out there, and then talking through, like, you know, energy comes in the form of calories, and that comes in the form of proteins, fats, and carbs, and the macros, and trying to break all that stuff down and just get an understanding. Because, I mean, we beat the hell out of ourselves when we're out there. Everybody that goes into the backcountry does. You know, some of those guys that are in Colorado, like, I think back to some of the stuff that like Lee and Rock do out there in Colorado. And, you know, in a very short period of time, you're putting your body under high stress. It's just, what can we do that's lightweight that allows us to mitigate that and keep those energy levels up so that we can, you know, we can push harder and go further. That's the important stuff. That's where the rubber meets the road, and that's the kind of stuff that we're going to try to bring forward. So pretty pumped for that. We'll be kind of cutting that as soon as we get back, and then that kind of leads into the new launch of everything that we've got going with Keefer Brothers and all that other stuff. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'd say one more thing on that is we basically force our bodies into ketosis, and we've actually taken ketosis strips out there before. Yeah. And you can, you know, we piss on a strip and you know you're in ketosis, and you can tell when your body's hit it, because essentially you meat and water. I mean, that's maybe the odd blueberry for some sugars, but I mean, when you do that for that period of time, it is a hardcore carnivore diet, but you're also no alcohol, no sugar, none of that stuff. And so
carbs.
You're going to immediately shed those fats, and we've done that now, and we've gotten so much better at the preparation going in of like, okay, I'm going to make sure that I kind of detox from sugar and all these things prior to going, so because we've been through that before, like early stages, and it sucks. But yeah, I mean, you force yourself into ketosis, and we've pissed on strips and say, yep, I'm in keto right now, and you can tell your body goes in, and man, you are just shedding and burning the weight. So it's going to be really cool to offset that. I am excited about that. And then as far as what we got going on the KB side, you are not going to want to miss next week's episode and the week after. Those 2 episodes, we're going to deep dive into some of the stuff that we're coming out with that we have been working on for, well, some of us years, other of us like heavy, hardcore months. But this last, I'd say probably 8 weeks of content that we've shot that we're bringing out, and where it's going to be and how it's all going to work. Just some incredible stuff. I think it's going to change the game again. I'm going to say it out loud. It's what we do. We're not always satisfied with what this industry is doing, and so it's time to disrupt it once again. So I'm excited about it.
Yep, I'm the same way. I feel terrible because we've teased for like 2 or 3 episodes right now, but it's just, I have to talk about it because it's so damn exciting, because it's such a change of pace. So really looking forward to getting it out there. We're coming down to the wire. Everybody hang with us, because it's right around the corner.
Yep.
We're getting closer every single day.
Yep. The guys in the edit bays, and they're not happy with us right now. I don't think
it's a lot.
It's a lot, but that's okay. We're getting through it.
We've done it. I mean, all good things happen like this, and I remember season 1 of Drop sitting literally in an edit bay for like 30 straight hours, getting that first episode out. But once that's out, once the template's cut for all of these different pieces of content that'll be in the app, once we're building the format for all of it. So that's what takes so long. When you do episode 1, season 1 of a TV series back in the day when you used to do that, it took a long time to figure out what episode 1 was. But once episode 1's dialed in, you've got the assets together, it's plug and play. So that's why it's such a heavy lift right now. But once we get all the assets built, once we have the template built, we're going to just start pumping out stuff left and right.
Well, this has been an entire team effort. So just take a moment to thank the entire organization. I mean, everybody has been pulling their weight on this. Amy and Renee and the edit bays and all the guys that are doing stuff.
The cockpit.
I mean, the cockpit back there and the people shooting. And I mean, but you know what I love about it is we've got an incredible group of people here. We're fortunate enough to have amazing people on staff that are just like they're into it right now and they see that what's coming. And I think everybody wants to be a part of it. And we're just crushing it out. And it's been a really cool experience, I'd say, over the last 6 to 8 weeks, especially because that's when it's starting to come alive. So we're seeing everything already in the background. We just not putting it out there until we get it to where we want it to be. But man, we're so close. We're so close. So next week we can talk about everything because we're going to be T-minus about 10 days from there. So we're getting real close.
Yep. Ready to rock and roll. Well, I don't know if you guys want to keep rolling or not, but I have got a wedding hall to go decorate at the moment. So I see everybody standing here kind of giving me the old side eye. Like, we do have this whole wedding thing to figure out. So I think I'm going to have to sign off here for a little bit.
That's fine, man. Get your wedding in. Enjoy the vacation with the family. And we will see you again next week, I think, from Canada as well, right? So you're going to be one more week up there.
Yep, I'll be one more week. I'll be way up in Big River, so we'll be up there in the bush and doing our thing. But I'll be remote again, and then it's back and rate to content, rate to drop, and man, guys, before we know it, we'll be in the mountains. So it's coming up.
2 months. 2 months.
Can't fucking wait. Let's get it. Let's do it. So, all right, man. Enjoy the wedding. We're probably going to sign off here. Jason and I got a lot of shit to do still today.
Yeah.
We've already had 2 business conversations. We got to continue because it's exciting. So, all right. We'll see you next week, bud.
Mama say it's some new day song.